OJ.
That's an oldie. Norm Macdonald's been dead for a while.
Man, that was I forget who I heard. Someone in a podcast said this, but they were like, "How I now know karma is not real." Wait, who did you? I already lost his
Norm
name
Macdonald.
Again. Norm Macdonald. They're like, because Norm Macdonald didn't outlive O.J. Simpson. And I was like, wow, that's accurate. Because yeah. And the fact that I heard some people like, maybe you could separate the athlete from... Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Like,
no.
The only sad part about him dying is it wasn't 1,000 times more painful and didn't last a year longer. Like, of just agonizing pain. That motherfucker.
Do you think he did it?
Welcome to the 2 Decades to League podcast, everybody. I did it to make sure I can't cut the other part. I'm Brad, hanging out with Josh and talking shit about a dead guy.
Damn. That's an appropriate use of Jane, right?
For sure, yeah.
Right,
absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Sick.
Yeah, so this is the podcast where we review albums that are turning 20 years old, mostly metal for whatever it's worth. We rate them based on 4 different parameters. We each give a score of 1 through 5 for each parameter individually, and then that's a total of 20 points up for grab from Josh and I, respectively, and then a total of 40 points up for grab total.
Crushed it.
And
you must have switched to Arbuckle T. Boone. Yeah.
I got nothing on that.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm too busy just thinking about how bad I wish O.J. Simpson suffered more,
Do you think he did it?
Wait, what is that from?
It's American
He did it. He wrote the goddamn book. That piece of shit. That's how fucking... Like, the fact that people are seriously, like talking about how much they can't wait to watch a Mike Tyson fight. Like, man, convicted rapist. Not alleged. Went to prison. Convicted rapist. And now he has a goddamn Scooby-Doo style cartoon.
Yeah. I guess just be
I just
famous.
want all of you out there, you all stress me the fuck out for your decisions. Anyway, just kidding. I'm not. Maybe not you. I don't know. Whoever you are, the proverbial you,
but probably.
Well, good segue to talk about an album equally as angry as I currently am. Terror. Terror, One With the Underdogs. Very special album to me because it was one of the first things that got me really super into and just obsessed with the hardcore scene, the New York hardcore scene. Though they're based in LA, it is worth noting that
that is worth noting.
Yeah, but their vocalist, which, I mean, what the hell, I guess I'll go ahead and give you I don't normally do the people on the album, which is funny
the rundown.
Just to be clear, their wiki for the album doesn't have the people listed.
I noticed. I had to go to the main page and try and suss out whoever the fuck was on there. Like, the shortest wiki page gave us nothing for a band that's like pretty influential in a pretty big genre.
Yeah, and they're still going as strong as they ever were.
Yeah.
I guess let's lay out, before I even give that stuff, maybe you took notes of it and I didn't. I'm just kind of going off site. But just to throw it out there to everybody, I love this album. I don't know if you had listened to it a lot before now or... I know there was always Overcome, right? That song was on the Sounds of the Underground compilation album and all that stuff.
Totally forgot that was them and not Hatebreed. I'm probably going to get beat up, but I mix the two up a lot.
I mean, unless you're like worshiping at the altar of New York hardcore, I don't think anybody gives a shit. Now, those people probably really give a shit, but
yeah, really do.
Yeah, I mean, Hatebreed Perseverance was the first album that got me into this genre of music, and got me into it very much so. But this would be probably the second big one for me. And this is to date still one of my, like, if I were to sum myself up musically, I would say I have the brain of a metal kid and the heart of a hardcore kid in some strange way.
No.
But I love this album, and ever since I got into it, which would have been, had to be right around this time. It couldn't have been far off. Yeah. I loved it immediately, and I never stopped. I still listen to it all the time. But the reason I'm pointing all this out, just to this is probably not going to be a long episode, because strangely, they're not a band that had like a story before this. Like, the vocalist Scott Vogel, he was in what was he in first? Buried Alive, which if you've never listened to Buried Alive, very good band. I got into them after Terror because of Terror. They're a little more metalcore-ish.
Yeah.
Not really, but they're 80% straightforward New York hardcore. And it makes sense that this is all going on because this dude who's the main member is from Buffalo. Whereas Terror the band, I believe, hails from LA.
Give my love to Buffalo. Buffalo.
That's right.
Also,
every time I think of Buffalo...
Nope, lost it. Go ahead.
We may have both lost the things we were going to say. Oh, thinking about Buffalo makes me sad now because of Every Time I Die.
Oh, yeah. That's entirely fair.
Yeah, bums me out.
Oh, yeah. Buried Alive. I was going to say, not to be confused with Buried Alive. So...
Correct.
Yeah. If you search for one, if you search for Buried Alive, you're going to find two different things. One's going to be like Buried Alive, and the other one's going to be Buried Alive. So just watch out for that. Know that they're two absolutely different things.
Hugely. Yep. Well, that's a good call. I'm glad you remembered your thing. I didn't really need to remember my thing.
I'm not going to specify how you tell the two apart either. You'll find out because you'll probably type it in and not see the other one. So there you go.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody. Godspeed.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle.
I'm just table setting as far as explaining why this is probably going to be a short episode, because it seemed like a no-brainer not to put it on a jam session from afar.
Right.
But once we got into it, it maybe could have been part of a jam session for sure.
Still could be. We could just cut this whole thing and put it in a jam session. But I don't think we will.
No, it's... I selfishly love it too much, even if this ends up being like 20 minutes long, and you're probably all out there, the 10 of you that listen to this, going, thank fuck, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, Jesus.
The whole album is only 32 minutes, into which they crammed 15 songs, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But getting back to your point about not having a story, so the band formed in 2002 when various people came together out of various bands, but they didn't have any prior releases. They had some demos, some EPs, a couple, a split or two, but this is their first full-length release.
Yep.
But like you said, still active, prolific. They're listed as hardcore, which they definitely are. Straight up beat down hardcore.
Yep.
Released on Trust Kill Records. Interestingly,
what a shock.
Roadrunner in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah.
So even when Roadrunner wasn't doing it, they were kind of doing it. Maybe we should do an awards thing at the end of each year, where we hand out awards for different stupid shit that we talked about for the podcast. This is obvious. I'm coming up with this on the fly, but if record label who won 2004 so far, my vote goes to Roadrunner.
Oh, it has to be, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
they
that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They recorded at Sound City Studios, which is a pretty big deal studio.
Super
And
fucking cool. Yeah.
they're listed as the producers, which is incredible. So they had a huge hand in the sound of the album overall. Is there any need to talk about the other band member? There is. Yeah, give them their due. Hit it, man.
Yeah, I mean, so you got Scott Vogel on lead vocals, which was a tongue twister there for a moment in my brain. Yeah. And then we got Doug Weber on lead guitar. And again, you can correct me if you took note of this. It's either Todd Jones or Frank Novanek that ended up on rhythm.
Oh, okay.
Because in their timeline, they are basically split at 2004.
That sucks.
So, well, you know what? No. It's going to definitely be Frank Novanek on rhythm guitar. And then we've got Carl Schwartz. Most normal name of any band member in any
Super
band
normal
that we've talked about.
Yep.
I dig it.
On bass.
Yep.
Just the most bland instrument.
Yep. Hey, my name's Carl Schwartz. I play bass.
Of course you do.
That was my Shaquille O'Neal impersonation too, I think. Hey, I went over there to play bass. Shut up. What was Nick Jett on drums. That's the lineup for the album as far as I can tell. Again,
okay.
This is like not even breadcrumbs. It's like
no,
whatever a step back from that is.
Bread ingredients?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, bread ingredients. That'll be the first album from our black metal band about mud. It'll be called Bread Ingredients.
Bread Ingredients. I was thinking we could also do a folk metal band that covers these songs, and we'll call it Thor, One with the Thunder Gods.
That's pretty sick, actually. Is there a Amon Amarth album called One with the Thunder Gods?
There's probably one close.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not fucking around though. Like, this is a good album, and there's enough.
Why? What else do we have to talk about?
That's
anyway. True. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. No, for sure, it is a really good album. I didn't go super hard into the track breakdown on this one. Honestly, for no other reason except, listen. If you listen to One with the Underdogs, and you like One with the Underdogs, track 1.
Yep.
At a minute 26, just kicking your teeth in short order.
86 seconds.
You're gonna like the rest of the album.
Absolutely.
And if you don't like One with the Underdogs, turn it off. You wasted a minute and 26 seconds of your life.
Yep.
Move on. Live to fight another day.
Which is probably the name of the song.
Oh, 100%. Live to fight another day. Give me...
Yep.
Yeah, I won't do it, but I guarantee you in under 2 minutes I can find a hardcore song called Live to Fight Another Day.
In under 3 minutes you could write a hardcore song called Live to Fight Another Day.
Yep, you're right. I'm going to do that when we're done.
It's probably worth at least running down the names of the tracks.
But for sure. No, in all seriousness, there's just not a lot of ebbs and flows. That's all I'm saying is like...
There's not at all.
If you either like New York hardcore or you don't, and I really have never met a whole lot of people that feel lukewarm about it. So it just kind of is what it is. I mean, the songs are good, in my opinion, because I'm super into that thing. I would say the rage on this thing, including track 6, Spit My Rage, where Lord Ezek at the end just straight up spits in the microphone, which that's pretty sick.
And it has Jamie Jasta. So, like...
Yeah,
this is a debut album, folks, and you've got one of the most like prominent names in your genre supporting you as a feature artist. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, man. But Spit My Rage is a great song at track 6, and it's a little over 2 minutes at 2:02. So, a little bit of a pattern here. I mean, Overcome is going to be a song that if you or I pick two tracks that are not Overcome, and if you guys have listened at all, from us doing this, we're putting Overcome on the playlist anyway. It's making it regardless because it's so far and away the best track on the album, in my opinion. It's got a little more, you wouldn't call it melody.
Really good.
But
yeah, it's got some stuff.
It's not quite as pummeling the whole time.
Also,
great song.
It's inspired me for what to do if I'm ever gonna go bald. And
Overcome.
Yep.
Sick. We didn't talk about that.
No.
Good.
It's the obvious choice, though.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, you got tracks like One With the Underdogs, Overcome, Spit My Rage, Keep Your Mouth Shut, Less Than Zero, Are We Alive, No One Cares, Not This Time, Crushed by the Truth, Out of My Face, All I've Got, Find My Way, Enemies in Sight. Like, if you're even mildly a fan of the genre, there's a ton to love here, and you're gonna get 30 plus minutes of it.
Yep. That's the beauty about liking this genre of music. Nothing else scratches the itch. It's just whether or not you have that itch that needs scratched, and some people just don't.
Yeah.
But I do often. I mean, I listen to this area of hardcore a lot. I wrote an entire album just like this for Pitka a couple of years ago, and I just forgot until right now. I think I have 8 tracks done where it's in this realm. Maybe I'll get back to that. Actually, that's a pretty good idea. Maybe that's something I'll actually do when we're done. I don't even have to spend 3 minutes writing it. I already wrote it. So,
damn.
Yeah,
that's efficiency.
So this means a lot to me. I love this sort of thing. And so if you like it and you haven't listened to this, which would be so odd to me, that'd be a pretty massive blind spot if you're kind of already into this shit anyway. But if you haven't, please do. It's just it's nothing other than that. It's exactly what you want it to be from start to finish, and doesn't deviate for anything. Yep.
And I'll say, like, back in the day for sure, maybe even still today, I always kind of liked Terror a little bit better than Hatebreed. Maybe it was his vocals. Maybe it was his vocals. Maybe it was his vocals. Or a total accident.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh.
But
I mean, I get it for sure. And like they've got that like Hatebreed does some droney stuff, and like a little later they got a little more, I don't know what you would even call it. It was like rockcore a little bit. Like people like started to lump them in with nu metal, which I would never agree with really, but
yeah, it's weird.
They did get a little less aggressive as time went on.
We all soften in our old age.
Terror did not do that.
Sick.
If you like it, here, spoiler alert. If you like this album, you listen to it and you're like, shit, this is up my alley. Listen to the rest of them.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. that itch will just keep getting scratched. It's not going anywhere.
Nope.
But no, I get that. And honestly, as far as a lot of people think this genre of music have a lot of vocalists that sound the same, I do think he stands out. He's got a particular, the aggression on his vocal is strong. It's something else. I mean, there's some, if that's not passion, then he has, I don't even know what to call it. That dude he feels what he's yelling and he's giving you 100% all the time. It's super sick.
It is super sick. Terror is in no way overrated.
No.
Maybe underdog rated.
You're on fire right now.
I don't even know what to say.
It's just... Oh, I mean, I'm glad because I'm having a great time.
One with the other frogs. It's the
See,
Kermit
we
Sesame
did it
Street
to somebody
version.
else. Yep.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Should we just dive into the review?
Oh, yeah. Dive on in.
Yeah. Can't stop doing it. Dive on in.
Review!
Hey, old Kermit the Frog here.
It's pretty good. That's really good. I forgot you did that.
Been working on it for years.
Taco Bell, at least.
Maybe
right?
someday I'll go pro.
I'm a pro Kermit. Yeah, broke my amateur status. Got signed on with a frog business.
It's on my resume for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I guess we'll have to talk about this now that we kind of brought it up before the episode started. But what did you think of the artwork?
So I didn't realize until like right before we started recording, that there was an alternate album cover, and man, I like it so much better. So the one that I'm familiar with is Uncle Fester tied up in a corner. He's probably super into it. He looks beat up.
My God. Man, I didn't see that coming at all. It is though.
Yeah, it's right up his alley.
Oh God. That takes that from being what I called a dark hardcore cover.
Really changes the tone.
Totally different. Yep.
No, but the original cover with the guy who's bound and gagged in a corner, definitely pretty dark. Which, with the aggression in the music and in the vocals, makes total sense. I mean, honestly, it's pretty iconic. Sticks in my brain space. I would give that one a 4. But the alternate cover that's just the bound hands close up, I think is super duper sick, and definitely pushes it to a 5.
Agreed. I will never so if you would have asked me to draw my best rendition of this album from scratch without looking at it, I could have done it because of how hard it's burned in my brain, like you said. Right. I mean, this is but now I'll just never be able to look at it the same. I'm having a hard time recovering from that. I landed on a 4 as well. The only thing about it which is a little weird, is just it's so dark, and not in a hardcore sort of way. Like, if I were to think of like a quintessential hardcore album cover, what would I think of? And not like a Hatebreed Perseverance is sick, but at the end of the day, it's just a Hatebreed logo on a black cover.
Probably Throwdown Haymaker.
Haymaker. Yeah, that's exactly. Yep. That's what I would say perfectly represents this genre of music, even if I wouldn't consider Throwdown necessarily in the same. They're both definitely, capital H, capital C hardcore, but this is more of that like street hardcore.
Yeah.
Just fucking pummeling you to death, whereas Throwdown had some groove and had some other stuff. So I'm not saying they're the same, but if I were to say to look up a hardcore album that is going to be a hardcore album, Haymaker for sure. That said, though, still a 4 for me. You're right. I actually, in my notes, it says the alternate cover on Spotify ? Really sick and was probably a better call. But no, it's still really good. It's iconic for me. It, yeah. I mean, it's weird to talk about being one with an underdog when the person's like bound and gagged and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, so what are you trying to convey about the underdog?
Like, is
Like, I know
that
you're
you bound and gagged?
like you're pro underdog,
right?
so
Yeah, it's strange choice.
Is this person not an underdog, and this is what the underdogs are doing to the overdogs?
Overdogs.
Yeah.
Is it
anyway,
supposed to be? Is it supposed to be a skinhead? I don't know. A Nazi. I could see them beating up Nazis.
Yeah, I could see that. It's got to tell you, you got to choose wisely when it comes to some areas of hardcore because they're either beating up the Nazis or.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yep.
What about the production?
So, I think this is. I mean, I don't know. For the fact that it was done at Sound City, I think helped it a lot. Sound City is a just legendary.
Yeah.
Recording studio. If you've never seen the Dave Grohl documentary Sound City, it's I can't recommend it enough. Go check that out. It's just a joy to watch. If you're into music and music history and that sort of thing, it's great. I don't know what else you would want it to sound like. I even because I was it started to creep into my mind that maybe my nostalgia was kind of informing my decisions on this a little bit. So I listened to their newest album for the now part.
Right.
This is so much better than that. It doesn't sound bad or anything, but I mean, it's a little rough around the edges.
Right.
It is, but I'm going with a 4. I don't want it to be anything else, and I listened to a handful of 2022 to 2024 hardcore albums after being done with this, and it holds up just as well, if not better, than those. So
yeah,
I'm on a 4.
Sick. I'm gonna follow suit because, like, you're right. It does. It sounds like exactly what you want it to sound like, and I don't know if it's rough around the edges or just has that raw quality that you want with kind of the aggression that you're going for and everything you're trying to do with your sound overall. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't want like a hardcore album to be some like precision razor blade sort of production like a Faceless record or something like.
Right.
I kind of want it to, have that raw. The rough around the edges isn't even a put down. I'm only giving it a 4 because I don't know if I could give any hardcore production a 5. Yeah, like I because it's always there's almost so much rawness that I don't know. Actually, now I don't know. Now I've talked myself in both directions, but I'll still land on a 4. So you land on a 4 as well?
Yeah.
Sick. Impact at the time.
Gee whiz. I think it's got to be at least a 3, if not a 4. Like, I didn't listen to a whole lot of Terror specifically, but like One With the Underdogs for sure, Overcome for sure, and I did listen to a lot of Throwdown. So I'll probably go 3, just because they didn't specifically have the huge impact, but like the genre was definitely around, and we did a lot to kind of emulate at least Throwdown and a lot that the hardcore scene had to offer. So
I mean, hardcore overall had a 5 impact on me. This may be more of a 4 because I think I was a little more into some of the stuff with a little more groove at the time. I appreciate this more now, I think, even honestly, than I did then. I went out and basically lived at Hank's house in Dayton. We started a hardcore band to sound exactly like this. So big deal for me for sure. So I'll go with a 4, man.
Hell,
we got 4s galore.
Fours galore all the way to the store. You want more?
On fire!
Damn.
Oh, man.
So I'm guessing you enjoyed listening to it today?
5. Yep.
Today.
Loved every second
today,
of it.
Yesterday, every other day.
Yeah, I literally did listen to it today. Not even in preparation for this. I just was like, what are we doing tonight? Like, oh, yeah, maybe Terror.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. What the hell?
Yeah, why not?
5.
It's only
I
30
love every
minutes.
second of this thing. Yeah, just knock it out. Move on with your day, or don't listen to it again, or then maybe go listen to, I don't know, the other 10,000 bands that sound within 5% of this.
Right. Or get 82 seconds in and figure out this isn't for me, and then call it a day.
Yeah. Yep. Eject, move on, everybody wins. You didn't lose enough time for it to even be a problem.
No. I also gave it a 5. I mean, it's fun. It's always fun.
Yep.
You're always gonna leave feeling like you could beat somebody up if you needed to. Like you're just it's gonna be a good time. Interestingly enough, I listened to Alexis on Fire while I worked out and not this. Because like I didn't want to hurt myself going too hard in the gym.
Yeah.
Like there's a level and then there's just nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but seriously, if you ever want to get super pumped, like if you like this sort of thing even a little, and by the end of this you are not ready for whatever the fuck the world has to throw at you, you're never gonna be. Hate to tell you. All right, so we have got a score of 16 from Josh, 17 from me. A total of 33 overall. I love it. What was your favorite song?
I'm going to go with One With the Underdogs.
That is the right answer.
Yep.
Well, so what's my backup? Because
you're going to go with
I'm going to go with Are We Alive?
That's a good one. That one's thrash as hell.
Yep. So it'll be those two, Josh with One With the Underdogs, which was also my first choice if you didn't pick it. Yeah. Are We Alive as my pick, and we will be adding Overcome to the 2 Decades Too Late playlist on Spotify. Again, this is real. We started doing the new songs this season. The whole adding the third one is even newer than that. It's only maybe within the last couple weeks, probably.
Yeah, what was 3 Inches of Blood was the first one?
I think so. Overcome, just it's gotta be there.
Yeah.
And if you're into this sort of thing and you listen to this album and that one doesn't stick out, weird. Because it should. So so we do have a playlist, an ongoing playlist on Spotify, TDTL favorite songs. And we every week we add our favorites to it. Gonna keep that going. I can't oversell this enough. If you're interested in this sort of area of music, this thing gets cooler and cooler every week. It's just all over the place while still somehow being related in some strange way. Check that out if you are so inclined. Again, thank you, Mick. What a stupid thing I did. We've got
the
Instagram. We have only Instagram on social media. We're that weird age group that really weren't into social media, but we're not old enough to be consumed by it as well. I don't understand how this works.
If we would have been able to make a MySpace, we would have.
Yeah, for sure. If we were either, 5 to 10 years younger or 5 to 10 years older, we would be way more into this for some reason. Right. I don't get it, but there it is. So, check us out. It's TDTL for 2 Decades Too Late _podcast. Go tell us, if you're an overdog.
Yeah. And be sure to stay off our lawn.
For sure. These fucking overdogs peeing on my lawn. Yeah. I don't want to
kick a dead horse.
Anything else? I don't want to. Yeah. But if you do like this sort of thing, if you do like this sort of music and you haven't heard this album for some strange reason, I'm not judging you, though I am questioning your choices. Go check it out. It's a really incredible, like representation of what this music can be at its most.
It is a master class in beatdown, like New York hardcore. Yeah, for sure.
It is.
So,
all right, Josh.
With that, shortest episode, probably. He's been Brad. I've been Josh. And we've been 2 decades too late.
Get it, overdogs.
Overdogs.